I wouldn't normally do this. This is not how I do things. And what we're talking about is what's up on the green screen. Usually what's up on the green screen is the standard sort of official promotional materials from the brands. So you've got very clean pictures, very high definition, but just a simple picture of a shoe, lateral side, medial side, insole, that kind of thing. But that's not going to happen today because we don't have the official images of either of these two shoes because there's two of them. But as soon as I saw them, I was like, I just have to do this video. These guys are really, really hot. I love this shoe. It's a cracking shoe and it's coming out in just a couple of weeks time, like in December 11th. This video will probably go up on around about December 4th, so in a week's time. We still don't have those official official images yet, but I just have to do it. There's enough pictures out there for me to give you all the details that make this one of the most epic Air Force Ones in recent times. Really, well, actually I should say two of them because there's two shoes, so two of the most epic Air Force Ones in recent times. Some of the stuff on this shoe is utterly unique, completely innovative, and I'm really want to get into that with you guys today and talk about all the little hits on this shoe, the places that are just completely unique, and including like the entire sort of the story of the shoe in a large kind of way, and then down to little details and little hits of branding. So without further ado, let's get into that and take a look at this upcoming release of the Nike Air Force One STUSSY in Fossil Stone and Black. This is the Tokyo Butter 23 Sneaker Channel. Tokyo Butter 23 Sneaker Channel です。毎日アップするので、毎日見てください。And every single day from Tokyo, Japan, I bring you content about upcoming sneaker releases, sneaker news, and sneaker reviews. And today we've got a STUSSY in the spotlight, or two, I should say. I keep saying a STUSSY. One of them's black, and one of them is Fossil Stone, I think is the name of the colorway. And they're both extremely nice shoes and really beautiful. There's just so much going on in these guys. Honestly, it's one of those shoes I can't believe how much they've got in it. And actually there's one detail they don't have in it yet, which I think is going to be coming down the line. And there's another detail that was like rumored to be in it that didn't actually come to pass. So we're going to get into that today. We're going to look at this rumored bit that isn't actually there, what is actually there, and what I think should be there and will be there, but isn't there yet. So without further ado, let's get into this, the STUSSY tie-up. I do have a little STUSSY story which comes from when I spent a year on working holiday in Australia, and I had a really beautiful STUSSY top that I liked very much, but it went missing. Let's just put it that way, and it just sort of disappeared one day, and I don't know where it went, or you know, if it ever came back. But it's one of those things. But the STUSSY brand, very cool, very sort of hip, kind of a little bit not niche, but it's not quite mainstream. There's a definite brand there and a different sort of high qualityness to it, but it's not quite that mainstream hype. It's more got a bit of a street feel to it, and I think they work hard to keep that, and they do a good job of doing that. But these shoes here, absolutely fire. Let's get into them and talk about the details. So we're going to start with the thing that isn't there, that maybe could have been there, and this is going way back to when these shoes were first rumored. Somebody did this mock-up and did this, and they put STUSSY on the midsole branding where you'd normally see Air. Now I'm 99.9% sure that that isn't going to happen. When these guys hit the stores, it's going to say Air there, just like it says on every other Air Force One. But wouldn't it have been incredible if that had said STUSSY down there? Just absolutely blown the sneaker market apart for sure. Now, like I say, I'm 99.9% sure that isn't going to happen, but it's still something that's worth contemplating and thinking about what that would have looked like, you know, if they had gone with that. It's a really great feature. Maybe it's a hint to what they can do in the future, and ways that they can kind of innovate on the Air Force Ones. Same sort of constant silhouette for the last 38 years. So little tweaks here and there, you know, could be coming down the line. So that's the thing that isn't on them, that, you know, was rumored to be on them. But now let's get into the things that definitely are on them, and then at the end we'll get to that thing that I don't know about that isn't on there yet, but I think will be. So first things first is one of the least noticed things on the shoe. But you know, before I do that, I'll get into that least noticed thing in a second. But first, you have to understand the construction of the shoe to get at least two of the main points on it. I'd say two of the main points are to do with the unique construction of the shoe, and then two of the other main points are just add-ons that could be on any shoe. And what I'm talking about is the materials that make this shoe, and it's not leather. Generally speaking, Air Force Ones are leather, and if you look closely at whatever I'm zooming in on here, you can see a more knit effect. It does have a sort of echo of the kind of Gore-Tex feel about it with mesh, but to be honest, I feel like it's more of a canvas feel than a mesh feel, but it definitely isn't leather, and that's really important because things being woven into that upper is one of the main features on this shoe. So definitely getting a sense of that for it. And it's probably the stone fossils I'm using, because black is a little bit harder to see, especially on the green screen. The stone fossil will give you a better feel for that kind of fabric and that woven effect that goes across the entire upper of the shoe. And it just, you have to hold that in your mind to understand the next 2 points. So keep that vision in your mind of the weaving and the fabrics on there. And then we'll go to first fire point number 1, which is down on the toes. And I don't know how many people are picking up on this because it's just so tightly woven in there, but you've got branding woven into that fabric in the same color as the fabric, and it's hard to see unless you're really looking at it, because it is just an identical color. There's no contrast at all. It's the same color as the rest of the upper of the shoe, so it looks like a smudge, or it looks like a sort of shadow or something like that. But what it actually is branding, and on top of that, it's also different branding on the left and the right shoes. So hopefully what you're seeing here on that toe box of these, and again, I think I'm probably looking at the stone, the fossil stones, because it's easier to see. Again, the black is too sort of absorbent, too dark to be able to see that. So point number 1 is the fabric uppers of the shoe, and then leading off that, point number 2 is the way they've woven some branding in different styles on each of the left and the right shoes up there on the toe. Very cool, like insanely cool. And then we'll come back to the second feature that links into the weaving. It's the swooshes on these guys, and again we'll stay with those fossil stones because I think it shows up a little bit better than the black ones. We'll use the black for other features in a minute. But you can see the swoosh on the side is, first and foremost, it's not I was going to say knitted. It's not knitted. It's an embroidered, sewn swoosh on there. So you've got the small to large kind of stitching effect that goes on. So that's point number 1, which is great on a fabricated upper. Really complements it well. But again, in the same color as the upper, so there's no contrast there, but also there's an element of double swooshing on here. Now it's a single swoosh though, it's not like a Sakai double swoosh or yesterday's video about those Dunk Low Habibis, I think was the name of yesterday's shoe, which had double swooshes on them. This isn't a double swoosh, it's a single swoosh, but with 2 separate sections to it, a top and a bottom part. So instead of having a thread that goes from the top to the bottom sections of the swoosh, you've got kind of threading that runs along the bottom half and then threading that runs along the top half, and hopefully that's showing up nice and clear on the picturing on the green screen here behind me. And you've got that sense of that threading embedded in the fabrics of the upper, and again it's got to do with that complementing each other. It probably wouldn't work on leather, you know what I mean? It wouldn't be able to sort of weave into the leather, if you know what I'm saying. So that it's really important to understand that weave construct of the upper to then understand that toe branding, and also this kind of 2-half swoosh stitching effect that they've got going on there. Now we'll flip it out to the black ones just for the fun of it, because I want to show you 2 things on those guys which are important to the shoe. And one of my favorite things is up on the tongue. You get a sense for the branding, the STUSSY branding up there, and also some store names in the cities throughout the world, like Milan and New York and stuff like that, which is very, very cool that they've gone that extra mile on the tongue, because often Air Force One branding up there is just like Nike Air Force One up on the top of the tongue, but here you've got an awful lot more going on there, and really the STUSSY brand coming to life. So hopefully that's visible on the black pair. And then the final thing to look at is on the back of the shoe, on the heel. There's some blingy branding going on the back there. I could describe it in any other way, and you can see it here, but it's like a circle, and around the outside edge of the circle is a sort of diamond effect. So it's like bling, 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 if you know what I'm saying. So, but it's very cool branding, very cool hit on the back end of the shoe, and a very good, cool place to sort of finish up the look at all the details on there. And I think that's everything in the shoe. I hope I haven't missed anything out that's important to this. I probably have, knowing me. I sometimes do miss stuff out. But these guys are coming on December 11th. I'm sure there'll be better quality pictures coming down the line soon. This video will probably go up on the 4th, I think it'll be, so a week ahead of the drop date, which is what I do, is ahead of the drop date, talk about what's coming down the line for you guys. But it's just a great looking shoe. The pictures aren't the promotional material pictures, are different, but I just couldn't do it. I couldn't let this one sit. I had to get straight in there and talk about it with you guys. So hopefully you appreciate that. Hopefully that all worked out back there, and hopefully I haven't missed out anything on this shoe. So but it's time for me to sign off. Thank you guys for checking out the content. We're chipping on. We're getting towards, you know, that 2nd year anniversary of daily drops. We're already into year 3 of the channel itself, but then daily drops with that single day missed is coming in a few days time. So big things to look forward to there. But for now, it's time for me just to sign off. Thank you guys for checking out the content, and I'll say what I say at the end of every single video, which is I do this every single day. So you are guaranteed to see me tomorrow.